I found my wife's old diary and learned the truth about what she had been hiding for 20 years. I was overwhelmed the day that I found the diary, so I just decided to spend the night at a buddy's house so I could have a chance to process my feelings. It wasn't unusual for me to crash at my buddy's house after a poker night, so my wife thought nothing of it. Good, I really didn't want her to know that anything was wrong since I ultimately had no idea what the hell to do. I considered talking to my friend about it, but I really didn't want to involve anyone else in my marital issues. The very next day, I called out of work, and I went back to my house to wait for my wife to get home from work. It was so strange watching her walk in the door. She thought that it was a normal day like any other. She had absolutely no idea what information I had and how painful the conversation we were about to have would be. I asked her to speak with me in our room, and she started to look concerned. Our marriage has been flawless up until now, and we never really far or heavily disagreed on anything. So it was strange that I was acting so serious and wanting to talk to her in private. I came right out and asked her if she had ever hidden anything from me within our marriage. I told her that I loved her so much and that I trusted her to tell me the truth. As soon as I started speaking, her face fell, and I could tell she knew exactly what I was talking about. My wife didn't even try to hide it or deny it. She broke down crying and started to tell me about the Italian man all those years ago. I think it would have been even harder to hear if I hadn't read all about it myself just the day before. Yes, it's still incredibly hurtful to hear her admit it to my face and to know that she was only telling me the truth because she had got caught. She asked me how I found out, but I just ignored the question and let her continue apologizing to me. I asked her if that was the only time she had ever cheated on me, and she swore on our children that she had never cheated with anybody else. She just kept apologizing and crying, and it was so hard not to comfort her since I had always been there for my wife before this when she was upset. Either way, I told her that I was having a lot of trouble forgiving her and that I needed some time to think about what we should do. She begged me to stay and said that she couldn't live without me. The conversation didn't really get anywhere and eventually, we finished talking and just started to get ready to go to bed. I couldn't sleep, and even though my wife was upset, she fell asleep immediately, I guess because she had been crying so hard all night. I laid there in bed next to my cheating wife, just staring at the ceiling, wondering what I should do. The next thing I knew, I was heading back to the garage and flipping the pages to continue reading the diary where I had left off. I had put the diary down while my wife was still talking about how guilty she felt for cheating on me. But right there in the middle of the night, I decided to read the diary in its entirety. Thank God I did because it turned out that my wife had absolutely no intention of telling me the truth about her actions. I thought my heart had broke when I first read about the cheating, but the rest of the diary completely obliterated any scraps left of it. In the last 10 pages of the diary, my wife admits that the Italian man she had cheated on me with contacted her after we had flown back to the States when our vacation ended. I was already upset to learn that she had exchanged contact information with him, and I thought it really conflicted with all the guilt she had been going on about for pages before that. Well, it turns out that she had met up with this guy and effed him one more time while he was visiting the US. I thought back to the dates, and I realized I had been on a business trip that weekend, and so it had probably been easy for her to coordinate meeting him at his hotel. I can't believe the 20 years of marriage has been completely undone by the truth hidden in this unsuspecting little diary. Part of me wishes I had never read this godforsaken thing. I almost wish that she could have taken the secret to the grave, and I never anticipated our life being disrupted by an ugly truth like this. I'm writing this from the garage, it's 5 a.m., and I know my wife will wake up soon, and I will have to make a choice. But honestly, I have no clear idea what to do, and even though I've been betrayed, more than anything, I just want to pretend like all of this never happened.